Welcome back. This is Nerd Dad on episode 24 of our Factorio playthrough, and today is Robot and Roboport Day. Yes, we're going to start working on getting the minions together. So, first thing I want to do is, just in case we want to duplicate this area here, we're just going to make up a quick blueprint. Just going to smack it together really quickly like this. And we'll just do something like this. I'm guessing I'm going to get a little red symbol, but I didn't. Oh, I got lucky on it. I just want to make sure that that'll work for us. We'll change that around a little bit, but that should be close enough for an overlay. Okay. Oh, what's it showing me? It's showing me a red somewhere, right on the corner there. It's not going to let me do that last little piece. Okay, so what we're going to do instead is we're just going to snip this just a little short. What we're going to do is we're just going to pull this in, not grab that last little piece, and we'll just do this piece like that. That'll give us at least the framework behind what we're trying to do, and that should work. Just making sure we don't do something silly like that. Or, no, that's right. And that should be golden. Actually, we could go right here like this, and we could pull off both sides of that track. So while I thought that was silly, it actually would work. We could use the reds to pull off the far track. So let's do it like that. Okay, so we've got that marked in there. Not even saying we're going to use it, but at least we've got it if we want it. Let's just throw that away. We don't. Oh, not that. Actually, we don't need you anymore either. And we'll get rid of you. We can always recopy you, and these two guys can go away as well. So I'm kind of doing a bit of throw in these. I mean, we could be storing them all, but how many times am I going to be building electrical? I do love my little sixth cheater here for the blues, though. So let's think about what we're going to need. Well, let's take a quick look at that. We're going to need the flying robot frame, which I will refer to henceforth as probably the backpack, because I always forget what it's called. And we also need 4 articles for it. So in some ways the best way to do it is to feed the middle and then just have the outside edges push out the frame. So I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to build this based on having 6 assembly machines. In fact, I know that I'm going to want at least 12 and probably more, because assembly machines take 20 seconds to build each. It's a horrific amount of time. That being said, I'm not planning on to build thousands of thousands right away at least, but I want the ability to eventually. So let's get working on that. Whoops, there we go. Okay, so we're going to need a line of output, so that's going to be our line of output there, one for the inserters, and that's where we're going to want to drop our blues, and then we'll just kind of do the rest right off of there. So let's just start laying this down. Whoops, it helps if I lay it down where it's supposed to go, and then we'll just start getting the track in place. So our output line, how did I already end up off kilter here? I goofed up already. That's okay, I actually do want that line in between there, so I got lucky anyways, because I do want that extra line. I have a feeling I'm going to want it to bring additional resources upstream. Okay, so let's get the 2 lines that are going to be coming in, and they're going to look like this, just quickly like that. And all sorts of blueprints once we get this sorted out. And we may as well just get the other 6 of these in place, because we know we're going to want at least that starting out here. And there we go, we've got those guys set up. Now, everything's an input on this, so it's going to make it easier. Oops, and I didn't leave myself a lot of blues. I'm going to need some blues. And here I'm thinking to myself, I'll just call the robots to bring them. That's not going to happen. Okay, so we're going to need a bunch of those. We might need to go pick some up real quickly here. And ins and ins. Let's just do the reds while the blues are building. Don't need those there, just need them on the inside. Whoops. There's lay the power lines out while we're building. Just get all that done as well. Ends and our 1 jumps to the corners. And we'll need one on the inside somewhere. So that'll work. We can jump to the far post over here. And we can put some lights in here as well. Lights will be, let's think about that. We won't have any on the inside because it's going to be, oh yeah, we'll have a able to put them across from the power poles. I've got a little bit of damage going on the outside. The bugs have this weird belief that they're actually going to get through the wall. So they keep just hammering away at it. So you'll see I've got a lot of 2 laser emplacements here. And you'll see over here I've got 4s. I just have some places where I haven't laid it out in 4s, so they're still managing to take out the occasional laser. I'm going to go around and fix that up later, but I wanted us to get this done, and then the bots that we build can actually help me get this get this all cleaned up. So I'd like to have these in my hand kind of moving forward here. So let's just get these guys in place. This should be a pretty fast job for us to get laid out. And why don't we just identify our robot flying frame, not backpack. Okay, and there we go. Got them all laid in there, and that is great. We're going to want the frames themselves to come down south here somehow, so we'll figure out that in a second. Now, what do we need? Well, we need all sorts of items here. We need the steel, the battery, the electric engines, and the electronic circuits. Well, the steel and the circuits will be coming from the main bus batteries. This is going to be a problem. I haven't really thought this through, apparently, because we need to pull some batteries from here. Now, we could pull them, but I want to pull them in a straight line. And I'm not going to be able to because, well, bad planning. So we're going to... Let's bring them up high, and then we can jump them together over there. Okay. So now we've got what we need to do. We're going to do something like that. And we'll do something like this. That'll allow us to split off this. And we'll see if we can we make a jump across that whole distance? We can. It's lovely when you can pull that off. And then we will just see if we can do that again from about there to, I don't know, about there. That's fantastic. And how about one more? This one will be a short little one because we're not going to need this power pole. I think that was just a joiner, so we don't need that one. Okay, so now we can just quickly bring the batteries over. They need one more connection. And then we can just join them together right here. Let's do that right there. And then we should be able to jump that most of the way over here like this. And we'll just pull the rest of this up. Now, we'll probably need to split this line off at some point because we're going to need it to go to other places. Because once we start doubling, maybe tripling or quadrupling this, we're going to need to feed this line somewhere else. But for now, we're good here. The other thing is we've got this ability right here to bring up a line. So I'm going to use this little space in here since we have the space available. And we'll use this right here to bring up our thick line for our greens circuits and our steel. Sorry, just having a is that what I really want moment. And it is. Okay, so there we go. There's our splitter. And then we're going to want to identify, if that becomes a three-way line, that's going to get really messy. Ooh, we may have to do some finagling if we decide to make that steel a three-line bus. I think we've got a bit of a goof going on there. Just looking down the line. And for right now, though, we'll just keep assuming everything's perfect in the world. And there's our green circuits. I believe that is what we wanted. We've got green circuits, we've got steel. Now, I just like to point out the steel line appears to be backlogged right now, and it is. But we have an ongoing problem. In fact, it's actually caught up while we were working on this, but I've been really struggling to get it to this state. And it's mainly because I think we haven't done any tech. As soon as I seem to do tech, I seem to bleed it off very badly. And yeah, they're still hammering away on this corner. They're going to eventually take this whole corner out on me. I may have to get up there and take a little bit of an emergency fix. We do have a second line of defense here, so we're okay for right now. We may have to run off and do something. Regardless, we've got that line coming in. We've got enough steel now. I'm sure we will we'll ruin that belief as soon as we start doing roboports. And why don't we just replicate that jump right there, just because we're going to have lines coming down and all sorts of things. So that'll give us a little bit of breathing room. And we'll just kind of do a little bit of a zigzag here. Okay, and I think we just need some power now. And I think we've got that identified with that and that. And there we go. Now we're going to get some backpacks. No, what are they called? I don't know. These robo flying frames. And why are we not getting there? Hello. Did I do that backwards? I did do that backwards, didn't I? I think I did. I did. Alright, there we go. And now we'll get some frames. Now these are going to be slow, like I said. They take forever to come out of here. So we'll get some more of those built, but what we want to do is just start getting the basic robots built. I'm thinking we're going to do that down in this area. I also want a bit of the ability to do the roboports right in the same area as well. So we want to kind of crunch this up a little bit. So I think what we'll do is actually, it's nice that we've got the greens right there. We could probably steal the greens right off that line directly. I think we're going to do that. You know, I've never really had a setup where oh man, I could actually steal off both. I think we will. I feel like we've just been given an opportunity that I haven't had before, and I'm going to use it, because you only really need one assembly machine to build your robots of each flavor. So basically, I usually just lay down 2 of these and say, okay, whale away, boys, and just bring the ports down. I'm sorry, the backpacks. I'm sorry, the robot flying frames. And we'll just bring those down to here, and I think that we should be good. And if we keep these on the sides of the track, we'll have it double-sided. I don't want them in my backpack, so I'll do the old-fashioned turn. And same thing with here. And we'll just bring these down this way. Look, a double-sided line even. Okay, and so that should mean once we get our first roboport or 2, and we can put them in right out here, that'll work. For right now, we'll just do something like this, and we'll just have these guys reach out here and drop them in there. We'll put a couple of blue inserters there, and I just gotta think about which one is which. I think I want the construction on the top, so they'll be the greens. Logistics will be down here. So that basically means that if we're pulling off the line, we will always build the constructions first. But what it does mean is once we get past this point, these ones that are in arrears will all be used up for logistics, and that's okay. So all we need on this side then is we're going to need a blue in for you, and we're going to need a red in for you. And there we go. So that actually is really nice. I usually have to join a lineup and all sorts of things, so we got kind of lucky here. It's actually looking really well. Might need another power pole by the looks of it, so I'll just drop one there. And then what I usually do is I start throwing logic on these, because I really don't need thousands of logistical robots at the beginning of the game. I'm not ready for that quite yet. It's the construction ones I really want right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to basically tell this lovely thing to build me a bunch of these. I'm going to say if construction robots are less than a couple hundred, keep feeding it. Otherwise, put them all into logistics. And I've rethought that. I want 500 of those. And then we'll go into 500 logistics, in which case we'll freeze the line off to stop us sucking resources. So we'll do this one for logistics, and we'll say less than 500 for those as well. So we should end up with enough construction bots. And the reason why I want all those construction bots isn't for me to carry around. It's all about us being able to finally pave the joint. Yeah, finally. All right, so we got some bots, and what does that mean to us? Well, it means we can actually put our personal roboport in our bag, but I don't want to, because I've got all these things laid out and I don't want them to be auto building all the time. So I kind of want to be a little bit cognizant of this roboport in my backpack here, and I'm only going to put it in when I want to kind of go out and work on things with it. So we're going to just try not to have them running around building stuff all the time, so we'll try to work with that. So moving forward here a little bit, let's take a look and see how we're going to build ourselves some automated roboports as well. And where are they hiding? They're right there. Okay, so we're going to need a lot of steel, and this is where I'm going to expect the steel is going to come back and bite us. I'm kind of expecting things are going to just go, whoa, and we'll have to worry about it. I think there's another resource. Yeah, it's the red circuits and the iron gears. So got a little bit of everything this thing wants. And that's okay. We've got the line here for that, and we're just going to need to start with some, I just want to check that. It's that same place. Yeah, we got these lasers taking them out because they're starting to work their way through. That's okay. More fun in games, right? Okay, so the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to get ourselves set up with some iron gears, and I think we will just do a 1-to-1 right across so each one of these machines can feed in. Feed in one or feed in more than one? Now that's a fantastic question. I'm going to do this differently than I usually do. I'm going to do something like this. What we're going to do is, and I don't know whether this is better or worse, we're just going to try it. We're going to put one there, and one there. We'll throw on 2 reds on each one of these. We're going to put in 1 blue because it'll work really fast. And that blue will be for the steel. Or does it need to be the steel and the reds? And I think we will do the steel and the reds. So let's do that. And let's just go like this. Catch the other lines up later. And if we just bring this line in, we can always split this line off if we need it for something else. And then we'll just do this. And that should get us there once we get our iron gear wheels in place. Just kind of pondering if this is an acceptable solution for us. And I'm thinking it will work out rather well. Let's move this vehicle. Hey, dude, where's your car? Okay, and that's looking good. Kind of a bit of humming and hawing there because I'm sort of like, I'm not sure. I think we are now. I think we've come to settle with the fact that we don't have any blue inserters still. Yikes. Do I have any sitting in there? No. 5, 10. Alright. We'll just quickly wait for those to build themselves up. I'll start identifying what these are going to be. We'll grab the iron gears there really quickly. I was running around before building a few things and just catching a couple things up. So just trying to get us into a bit better stead. I added a row of furnaces and that sucked up most of the blues, I think. And roboports. Why am I looking in the wrong place? There we go. I usually actually build 6 machines for this against 6 of these, but I think the 3 will keep up just fine. Because usually I'm putting 20 into a bag or something and then you're kind of done. So I think this will work out just as well, I think, if not better. I'll find that probably the last 2 machines that are typically not working anyways will not be working. So we'll see how this goes. Let's grab ourselves a chest. And let's limit it into 4 stacks of 5. That gives us 20 roboports, typically more than plenty. I'm going to need to pick up some power poles too, that looks of it. And we'll just throw you on there like that. Looks like we only got 1 power pole left. And I'll build a few more of those. Quickly grab that. We've kind of gone off of our normal, hey, don't I look pretty, but she just looks that way. We'll just do that. And 6, that's gonna be about right. Lucky on that click. Okay, so we're still gonna be short. I might get away with it. 4. And we're gonna just squeeze under the wire here. And there. Okay, so we should be able to keep this line full. Our bus should easily be able to handle that. If it ever becomes a problem, we can easily just do that to it. And that'll never be a problem now. And then these 2 lines should be able to keep everything we need for the assembly machines. And it actually looks like, yeah, it's the gears that are going to keep us slowed down anyways. And if that's true, if the blues can keep up with these 2 reds and these, I'm good with this setup. As long as it's not sort of and they're working really hard together, it's kind of going good. And I see, are the blues stopping or are they just working? Because they got to pick up 90, but that's while we're producing the other side. Actually, the timing's not bad. I've seen a couple of the blues pause for a second or so, and then they can't get back to work. It's almost like it's, I hate to say meant to be, but it's really close. I'm just trying to see where it's pausing out. And it's almost just bang on because those arms are just constantly going. Let's just watch one of these for the numbers, see if we can see how it's going. Yep, it's still loading. It's got that what it needs. Yeah, it's almost like the point where this catches up. We just get enough iron gears and then the blue starts all over again. So it's almost a perfect smack. It's going to get to 45 in a sec. And the blue stopped. Oh, it stopped with just a hair and then it's off and backfilling again. So at some point, these are going to get ahead and they will stop, but yeah, not much. So that is really good. Really happy with that. All right, let's grab 10 of these. And we've got some bots in our bag. That's great. Now let's start laying out how this looks. Oh, and I totally goofed up. It's okay. We can fix it, but I meant to leave space here for roboports for these guys to offload it. We'll just make them offload to the ends then. It's not a big deal, but it's like, oh, darn it. Okay, so what I wanted is I wanted to start laying out our actual our ports here. And I think I've got a real problem here because I've crowded this up too much, and this was actually supposed to live here. This line that I brought in here has kind of caused this to go away. I could run it here, but same issues. I had the space until I used it all up, and I mean, there's lots of ways to work around it. I'm not too worried about it, but it was kind of not meant to go that way. I'd like to keep it here, so we're going to keep it here. We're just going to see if we can extend this off and see how much trouble it's going to give us. So let's just see how this joins up. It's going to need to join up right about there, and of course, it's always right where you've got some connection going on. We're going to want it right exactly where that tunnel is going. So that's not good because I don't know whether that tunnel can reach further than it is. Can you stretch further? Let's just see if we can put another one and see if we can go further. Oh, we might be able to get it to go further. Let's see if we can do it and see if it's far enough. That's the bigger question. So we'll just press you a little further and see if we can address you, and then let's pull these guys out of here for a second and see if we can drop in a roboport here. Oh, that's looking like I'm getting green. We got green. Okay, that's something. And then what we can do is we can come up here like this, bring the other side off like that, and then we'll just reconnect this. Just kind of like that. And then we just need power, it says. So I'll just throw a power line down to you. And we'll just kind of keep working this all the way down this bus. And this is kind of usually how I start my network. I start working it all the way down the bus. Like I said, I'll have a couple of these off-board. This one I might actually even do right into this one. We'll see how that goes. I'm just kind of thinking it through right now. And we'll just keep running this all the way up. So I can do that when we're offline. I just wanted to get us to a point where we actually had some bots and we could go out and do a few things. So since we can, shall we? We've got some stone walls. We've got some repair kits. That's the other thing I really wanted to do this time. It's something I don't typically get around to building. Once in a while I do, but not typically. And you know what? I think what we're going to do is just do a little bit of a cleanup here as well. And the reason why is I want to put in the ability to make some iron gears right here. And I want to pull off these greens here to make ourselves some repair packs. And I want to feed them, if I can, right into one of our roboports. So let's see how that would look. It's going to look something similar to this. We should be able to build one guy should be right there. And of course we can't quite fit the other one in, so what we'll do is we'll do a bit of an offset. This is a kind of often when I get into my robots, things get a little janky because I start doing some weird things, but I'm okay with it because hey, it's the robots, and at this point we're almost into logistical networks and all those wonderful things, and stuff can just fly everywhere. That's not really necessarily true, but it's closer to the truth than I'd like to act. It's the occasional one like this. We did this back here. We had one of these real messes, but it works out well. You know, these things here. It's messy, but it works for what we needed it for, and it's been serving the purpose the whole time. Okay, so let's get repair packs, and let's quickly grab those blues that I just built and say we would like you and you, and we'd like to copy you to there, and we would like you, sir, you, sir, you, sir. I need another blue. A couple more blues, please. Let's just do that. Just do them one at a time so we can actually get them built. Okay, there's our input, and we need, oh man, we're just really needing stuff. I think we need, oh, we don't have steel. Let's grab a little bit of steel here. There we go. Grab some power poles. Okay. That'll keep that going, and we'll throw a bit of light on the subject right there. And now I just have to kind of think about where I want this to go. And I'm thinking it's going to be something like this, with a jump from there all the way to there. And I betcha we could do it like this. Just put that inserter right there, and I think I can insert them directly in there. And this is what I want to find out. I don't recall having directly done this before, but I want to see if I can do it, because if I can, then I don't have to go around asking the robots for these things all the time. They can just kind of do it, and I can steal them out of here when I need them. So that's great. So we've got 21 of them. That's good enough for what I wanted to do. I just wanted to kind of jump in our car here, kind of go out, play with our robots just a little bit. They're not going to be the fastest things. In fact, why don't we see if we can do anything else with robots, worker robot speed? Yeah, we can crank that up. We've got the blues, we've got the purples. The next thing on our agenda, of course, will be our working towards yellows, and that's going to be sort of next time. But hey, it's great if you have a roboport and you actually have it on your body. So I just wanted to make sure we were away from the town before I did it. We might just leave it on permanently afterwards. We already have the space in here. There we go, and there they go. It's that simple. We just get out here and just throw that port down, and then these guys are going to run around doing all the work for us. So this is where the game kind of becomes a little bit more fun. We can start actually building, we can start building templates. When I crash into things in my car, they will fix it. I can drive around impervious to everything. The only downside is at this point in the game, because we don't have the nuclear power, I get to night and they always seem to be throttling along there, being a little bit extra slow, and it makes it a little bit frustrating sometimes because you're always having to stop and go pick them up. I'm just going to grab that, and we're going to start trying to catch up. So we got 51,000. We're going to go for the achievement, you're doing it right, and we have 3 of 51K, so we're off to a booming start here. And what we're going to do is we're actually going around and do the rest of this, kind of let the bots fix things. They're going to let them put in the new pieces. This is why I wanted them. And so I'm just going to work around just kind of filling up the pieces that aren't quite there. We have a few places. You can kind of see on here there's a lot of them already 4s. This line here is just 2s for a bit. But most of it is up to 4. Got a few little gaps here and there. You can see the little gaps just kind of in various places. We've got quite a bit of space. Oh yeah, and the other thing I did do is I actually did double up our nuclear. It was already running a little bit shy on us. It's getting still a few too many spikes. So I cranked it up and put another level on it. So we've been working on that as well. So it's been going well. Put a bunch more steam turbines on there. And now we can start doing things like tearing these lines up and stuff. I'll probably wait until the robots are quite fast and have them do this for us. But yeah, we're getting there. Anyways, really thank you for joining me. I'm going to go around and clean things up here a bit. I'm going to try to get these bots working hard. And we'll go around and just make sure the defense is up to what we want it to be. And the next time we'll come back, and we should be working on those yellow science packs. And that'll be a really big step for us, because we have to build the blue circuits. And that's a big step towards us launching the rocket. And a bunch of other stuff we want to get towards. So I really thank you for joining me. I'm Nerd Dad. This has been episode 24, I believe. And I am out.